up, cut, put in the truck. We stuck it in the shop. We got the combine hauled down to the barn, stuck it in. We didn't even bother taking the head off. Guys, this 20-foot head does not travel down the road attached very well. We got to weave around light poles, ring around wood, but we're going to head back down to the field, let it dry out a little bit more, and then we're probably going to cut some more this afternoon. Well, we got the grain truck pulled out. Like I said, we'd stuck it in the shop. It's got a tarp, but you know, never know, there could be a hole in it, so we stuck it in the shop. I got my little sidekick with me today. Next thing we got to do is get the auger put up into the bin. It's still only about 10 o'clock, so it's going to be a little bit before we get out and cut the beans. I checked them before we went and got the combine. The beans were dry, but the pods were still kind of sticky, so we're going to wait just a little bit, go ahead and get this auger put up. Probably not going to unload this truck, probably just take it back down to the field. There's only about 150 bushels on it, so don't really want to waste the time setting it up to the auger and then have to just drive back down. So we'll get this set up and then we'll head down to the field. All right, guys, we got the truck drug down to the far end of the field. Got the auger set up on the grain bin. We're almost to the combine. As you can see, my test plot's back behind me, mainly Brevant. Got some alloy beans in there too. We're probably going to cut 4 or 5, maybe 6 of those varieties this morning. Just depends on how dry they are when we get into them. I did walk through the beans. They are kind of green, but they're popping. So I'm going to cut some, test some moisture on them, see how they are, and if they're good, they're going in the bin, so they can go in a little bit wet, and we'll throw some air on them and dry them down a little bit. So we're going to get the old girl fired up and start cutting. All right. We're finally moving here. Bought the combine a little bit right as we started. We were starting just a little bit too early. Beans were still wet. Wasn't feeding very well. I have run into an issue that I was not expecting. The cereal ride pack is still there, and it's wanting to push. And it's plugging up my touch bar and causing us to push. Definitely didn't expect that to be a problem, but it is, so we're going to have to just deal with it. We've kind of split this field up a little bit. We're going to come out here and make another long pass, get the test plot opened up. Not going to get into it until this afternoon. Hopefully it gets a chance to dry out a little bit more. But after I get it opened up, I need to go get the seed tender because my cousin needs to borrow the truck that we use with the seed tender. So we'll get the seed tender truck down here, get the parts, and then we'll get back to cutting and we'll jump into the test plot a little bit later on. But we're filling up. There we go. We got the test plot opened up at least as far down as we're going to cut. See, all these are dry. Those are not yet. So we're not going to get to those just quite yet. We're just going to leave those closed up. We'll come back in a week or so, get those pulled out. I'm afraid the moisture is going to be too high on them, and we're not going to get an accurate representation of what the beans are actually doing. So we've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. We've got 6, maybe 7 different varieties we're going to cut and see how they do. So we're going to go ahead and make one more pass down, get unloaded into the truck, and then go get the weigh wagon, and then we'll start cutting this test plot. These beans are cutting really good now. Sorry guys, my buzzer's still going off. I couldn't figure out how to fix my tailing, or I'm sorry, my walker alarm. Walkers are still working, but the sensor's going out, I guess. So it's blaring at me, but these beans are cutting real good now. We're taking 7 rows at a time with this 20-foot head. These 30-inch row beans are feeding really good. These are the Pioneer PZ38Es, I think. The 2Z series beans, 3.8. But they're feeding good. A lot of butter beans out here, so that kind of sucks, but you know, it kind of is what it is. We're still averaging about 10, 11, 12% moisture through the whole field, so we can't let them sit out here much longer, otherwise we're going to have too much field loss. Chugging right along, 2 mile an hour. Those numbers are pretty good. They're not super accurate, but they're a pretty good representation of how we're doing. It is a little bit wetter than what I'd like, but we got the fan turned on. It's spreading it inside there, so it should mix with those beans that are wet, or excuse me, that are dry down inside of there, and it should even out pretty well. Beans share moisture really well. This truck has a floor dump. Well, looks like we gotta raise it up some. Definitely not how I wanted to shut down the night. I've got an immense vibration coming from somewhere. I'm thinking maybe a cylinder bearing. I'm going to drop the head off. There's rain coming tonight. We're going to take this truck, put it in the bin, take the combine, put it down in the barn. There's something wrong. I'm going to have to dig into it later. It is what it is. We made a pretty good headway on these test plot. We got 8 of the varieties out of the 18. So at this point, it's just going to be what it's going to be. We're going to go ahead and shut down, drop the head right here, and hopefully it's nothing major. Well, guys, I most definitely had a small fire on the combine. I'm not really sure what bearing or pulley went out, but on that passenger side, right underneath the engine, we had a lot of smoldering bean dust, a lot of smoke, very hot stuff. The belts were hot. I'm not sure what went wrong, but we got it parked outside the barn. We're not going to stick it in. We're going to go ahead and get this truck unloaded back behind me, park it in the shop. We're nowhere near done with harvest. I still have probably 10 to 12 acres of soybeans and then another 30 acres of corn to do. I'm not sure what we're going to do. We're going to get this truck unloaded, get everything buttoned up tonight. There's rain coming all next week. Hopefully it's nothing major. Hopefully we can just replace something and get back going again. Like I said, we're going to get this unloaded. We're going to jump on the mule back behind me, run down there, make sure nothing's smoldering, getting too hot, and then we're going to call it a day, tackle it tomorrow.